Thank you very much. So, dear students, hope you people are having like a Python platform or any Python IDE or Anaconda with the Jupyter notebook. So I'm understanding that all of you on your system is having that because my session is that can be the completely you can see this is a hands-on kind of session. Okay. So as Pooja Soni has said that you people have already covered so many means the basic topics of the Python, like how we can install the Python or means related to the functions and the data structures like the dictionary, tuples, sets. So at this particular level, I am understanding that all of you are aware with that. Okay. So our lecture basically it is based on the object oriented concepts in the Python. Okay. So what we are going to do means we are going to learn, or I am going to tell you how we can do the object oriented programming, or how we can means use the object oriented, the principles of the object oriented programming in the Python. Okay. So this is the agenda, and with that we will discuss, if time allow us, we are going to discuss the exception handling also. Okay. So anyone in between, if you are having any doubt or anyone is feeling any doubt, then he or she can interrupt me and can ask it out. Okay, there is no problem in that. So can I start now? Please tell me.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So please tell me, my screen is visible to all of you. We are not
Yes,
going
sir.
into
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
discussion mode.
Yes, sir.
Basically, we are going to directly, we will run the code, we'll understand the concept using the Jupyter notebook. Okay. And we'll see all
Yes.
the codes will run over here. So, so first thing is that what is the meaning of object-oriented programming? Okay, as you have learned, basically like the C programming is there, and another like the structural programming languages are there. In these programming languages, you have seen when you're writing the program is in a sequence, or you can see what is happening over there when you are writing a complex program or comparatively a large program. You generally define the global data and all the modules. Basically they use that particular data, so the data is scattered. This is not secure. Sometime it may happen that this data can be changed by the different modules. So the concept of object oriented programming is there. What we can do, because the data is very important for the program, so what we can do, we can bind, we can couple our data within a particular module. Okay. And that module basically with the data and the operations that are defined to that particular module, when we bind up these particular data and the operations on the data in a module, this module is called the class, and the approach is there, that object oriented programming approach is there, that by creating these modules and a specific module for different kind of real-time entity, which are called the you can say the objects. Basically we can create the modules, and we can together we can combine these module in order to create a large complex program or solution for a particular problem. So this is a very nice idea. Even the object oriented programming is having various features which we can use in our programming approach. Okay. So the Python also, it is a pure object oriented kind of language. However, in case of Java also we have object oriented features. Even in case of C++ also we have the object oriented. But in case of C++ and in case of Java, you have seen that the primitive data types like the integer, float, doubles, they are not object. But in case of Python, while you are running or while you are studying in the starting, okay, you have seen everything, whatever you are defining, that is working as an object. Even you are writing the X or variable, that is in the Python, this is behaving like an object. So the Python programming basically it is an actual object oriented language. So what is the meaning of object oriented? Object oriented, basically the orientation is on object. What we are doing, we are creating or we are developing the code for an object where the object is having its own data and own functions. Okay, so you know very well there are various features of the object oriented programming like classes and object. Classes means what we can do, we can organize the object. So class basically it is an organization of the object, and object as the real time entity, or you can say the real time representation of that particular class. Like suppose that you are preparing a house. As when you are preparing a house, you are means creating a map for that, or a prototype you are creating. So what you are doing, you are organizing that your actual house will be of that kind. Similarly, in the program, the class basically it is an organization of the object. Okay, or we can say it is a blueprint. So the concept of the class, you can say it is similar like as you have created the structure in the C. In the structure, when you want to create a particular like you want to store the record in the memory, then you combine some data types. Okay, so that is defined by the structure. Okay, so the same thing is here. By using the class, what we are doing, we are defining the structure, how will be the object. Okay, the object or the class itself, what it can contain, it can contain the data and the modules basically that can perform the operations on that object. Okay, so this module is represented as a class. So this is only the representation. While we are creating the object for that, it means we are creating a real-time entity. And this one more important point is that if we have organized the class one time, the n number of objects we can create from that particular class. Okay, whenever we required the same architecture, what we can do, we can create an object with different parameters. Simple for an example, like one box we are creating. Okay, so the box can be of different dimensions. So what we can do, but you know the organization of the box represented by some attributes. So similarly, the class basically it is represented by some attributes. Some attributes are there. So based on the attributes or the value of the attributes, the different objects we can create of the same shape. Okay, so this is the concept basically behind the object oriented programming language. Means the program basically it is object oriented, means we are coding the objects and functions. Okay, next is the encapsulation. Basically encapsulation is that procedure while or due to which what we are doing, we are wrapping up means these data and the operations into single module. This is called the encapsulation. So next is the abstraction. Abstraction, you can say that you are not even having the much detail of the things, but still you are able to do some or perform the operations. Like you are defining the methods. Okay, you know the methods. Yes, this is the input of the method or input variables for the methods, and this is the return type of the methods. So the abstraction is provided by the object-oriented programming language in the form of the abstract classes, you can say, or even in the form of classes, you can say, in the form of methods, you can say. Okay, next is the polymorphism. Polymorphism basically is the means what we can have in case of C. You have seen for every work what we are having a different method. We are having a different method. So nowadays, like the Python programming is there, Java programming is there. What we are having, because these programming language are having various functions, they are having various built-in functions. So it is quite tough if we are providing a separate name for each and every function. Okay, so polymorphism basically it is a capability that a single name can have different behavior, so that it provides us different things. Means without changing the binding, sometime what we can do based on the object. Okay, we can change the behavior of a function, or what we can do at the compile time also, what we can do, we don't require to define the separate version with the different name of a particular method. By the using of polymorphism, with the same name we can define the different versions of a method. Okay, so this is the use of the polymorphism. Then inheritance, sometimes we have the repetition of the code, or you can say the different object can have the same kind of codes, they can have the same kind of means the parameters. Then what we can do, we can the common parameters, instead of defining again and again in the different modules. Okay, what we can do, we can define them in a common place or in a common class, and whenever we require we can inherit them. So inheritance basically enhance the reusability. Okay, so all these things basically for making the programming efficient, they are there in the object oriented programming language. Okay, they are having their specific means specific use or benefit. So here you can understand this figure is representing basically the procedural oriented programming. Here, like we are having the global data, then some functions are there, and within the function we are having the local data. But while this program is growing, okay, we are not having any control to the global data. That is a problem in the procedural oriented programming language. So the object oriented programming language basically they overcome this particular problem. And here what we do, we basically what we do, we create the separate module. We create the separate module, and each and every module it is having its own data and function, because data is very important for the program. So it is not like it is not available freely, or it should be like the secure. It should be secure. Without permission, no one can access that particular data, or no one can manipulate. So in the object oriented data, basically the data and functions, they are tightly coupled within a module that is called class. Whenever one module wants to use the functions or functionality, that can be done using the message passing. Okay, or that can be done basically through a specific procedure, you can say, but it is not freely available. Okay, so this is there. So OOPS terminologies, there are so many terminologies that we use in any object-oriented programming language. Either it can be the Python or the Java or the other language. One is the class. So you understand what is the class. Class basically a user-defined prototype of for an object, or you can say it is an organization of the object. Okay. Then we have the class variables. Class variables means there are some variables which are binded with the class, or which are available with the class. They are not available with the objects. Okay, so they are in the class space basically, or you can say their lifetime is basically it is based on the class. While the class is existing, these variables are available, and these variables, the class variables, can be accessed with the class name without creating the object. However, each of the things we will separately will discuss. Okay, data member means a class variable or instance variable that holds data associated with a class or and its object. Okay, so there are so many type of variables basically, like the class variables are there. The class variables in case of Python, they are called the static variables also. Okay, so class variables, and one are the data members. Data members means the instance variable, as in another programming language, or data members basically it's a common name. Basically it is like it is given to the a class variable or instance variable. Okay, then one is the function overloading. Function overloading basically it is the concept that is used to implement polymorphism. Okay, however, in case of Python, function overriding is allowed, but the function overloading, it is not possible in case of Python. Okay, directly we cannot apply the function overloading. Then we have instance variable. Instance, in case of any object-oriented programming language, instance means the object of the class. Okay, so instance variable which are binded with the instance, which are having a separate copy with the instance. Okay, means what is the idea over here in this object-oriented programming language? We have an organization, we have a class, and for that particular organization, what we can do, for that organization we can create the multiple objects. So instance variables are the variable which can have different which can have different or separate instances, separate value for each object. Okay, so these are the instance variables. Inheritance is used over here. Inheritance is basically it is a way through which an object can acquire the properties of the another object. Instance an individual object of a certain class. Okay, instance means the object basically. Instantiation means creating the object, creating the instance. Okay, so method basically you can say a special kind of function that is defined in a class definition. So you have definitely in Python. Before that, you have studied about the function. So function here within the class, while we are defining the function, they are called the method. Okay. Object. So object, a unique instance of the data structure that defined by its class. Okay. So object and instance, they are basically, they are interchangeably, they are used. Then one feature is there, operator overloading, that is also supported by the Python programming. Okay. So we'll understand in detail what is the meaning of object-oriented programming in Python. So let's see. So tell me, my screen is visible to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir.
So here you can understand the thing. Here you can understand. Here with the object-oriented programming language, what we have, state, we have behavior, we have identity, we have basically every object, it is having a unique identity. Like here you can understand with the help of this example, the class is the car. Like while we are in our mind, while we are saying that car means we are defining a structure. A car can have different parameters, like it can have wheels, it can have certain colors. Okay. So the class car we can define with the help of the parameters, and we can have some methods also. Okay, like here you can see the car, class car. So data members in the car can be the model, like the color, the brand, and the methods. Basically, some methods can be there, like the speed, size. Okay, so by using these data members, okay, what we can do, we can create different objects for the class. Like here you can see, so each and every object, basically what it is having a unique identity. Okay, always the objects are having the different identity. So based on the data members, the means the value of the data members, a unique object can be defined. State, what is the meaning of state over here? State means, state basically at a particular time, what is the value in the data members. Okay, what is the value associated with the object, that is called the state of the object. Okay, then behavior, it is represented by the method of an object. Okay, like the speed, size. So this is the way how we can means model a particular object. Okay, similarly here you can see like the class dog is there. So dog, just an organization, we are not talking about a particular, if we are talking about a particular dog, it means it is an object. Okay, so how we can define a particular class with the help of the state, attributes, like the breed, age, color can be there, and behavior, they can be defined using the methods. Okay, so this you can understand easily. This is a easy concept, even most of you have read this concept in the C++ also. Similarly, the customer class can be there. The customers, basically they are having like the email ID, phone number. Okay, some methods or the behavior can be defined by the like the methods and a place order, cancel order. Okay, so now this is the theoretical things related to the classes, how we can organize. So while we are doing the programming, or while we are means creating the solution for a particular problem. So what we need, basically we need to define the organization of the classes or the object. Okay, so how we can define a class in Python. If particularly we are talking about the Python, then how we can define a class in the Python. So in case of Python, one keyword is used that is called class. After that, what we need to do, we need to write the name of the class, every class having a name. Okay, so class, then class name, then the semicolon, and then a double colon, basically. Okay, colon. So class name, and then following it, we can have multiple statements. For example, here you can see class first. So first is the name. Any valid identifier can be the name of the class. Any valid identifier, we can give name of the class. Okay, so class first. In Python also, this is a convention that the class, the name of the class should be always start with the capital letter. Okay, however, if you are writing the class name with the small letter, that is not an error, but it is a convention in case of Python also. and it is same as in the Java, as in Java is there for the class name. Okay. So in this way we can define a class. So this is a very small class. Here we have written one statement pass, means we are not doing anything in this class. Okay. Then another class you can say class first one. In this we are doing one thing, print it is class first one. Okay. So class first one, this is the name, this is the keyword through which we are defining the class, and this is the name of the class. And here we can define the multiple or different syntaxes in the body of the class. Okay. So now here creation of object of the class, that is an important thing. Class means we are just organizing, like here you can see class first, means this is an organization even, but this, it doesn't contain anything. Okay. Here this is having only one statement, means we are calling one predefined function printf only over here in the class first. So actually while we are defining a class doesn't have any existence till the object. When we are creating the object, it means we are creating a real-time entity of that particular class. So how we can create the object for the class? Like here you can see class second. This is the name of the class. Here the class is having one variable, that is str1 is equal to my second class. Here we have initialized the value, and one another variable we have a. So in case of Python, we don't need to define the data type of the variable. Implicitly, it can be converted into the data into the type. Whatever data type we are assigning, basically same type which is basically associated with the data members or the variables. Okay. Here we have defined a function def call self, print I am class method, and then return true. So this is our class. Here you know very well that in case of Python we use the indentation, so whatever is there after one tab is included in the class. So this is our class body. In the class you can see we have one variable string1, then one variable a which is having the value 10, and then one function is there. So this is the way of creating the object, like s is equal to second. Okay, second is the name of the class. After that, if we are using the bracket like this, it means we are creating the object. Another object also we can create, like s1 is equal to second. So for a class we can create multiple object, there is no problem. While we are creating the object, means we are creating a separate copy for that particular class. Okay, we are creating a separate copy. So in this way, multiple objects you can create, and by using the object you can access the member of the class. What is the member? Simple thing is that whatever we have defined inside the class, that is the member of the class. Okay, so in the member you can see this is string str1, this is the one member, then another member, and this method is there. So with the use of the object, what we can do, we can access any member of the class. So here like s.str1 s.a you are seeing over here. So by using this, we can, what we can do, we can access the members of the class. So this is clear to all of you that we have used over here the format string. Some a format string आप लोगों ने किया है पहले? Please tell me.
No, sir.
No, sir.
No.
No, sir.
Okay. This is basically if you are having any doubt, then it is very simple, as you have done in C. So what is there? Here we use this dollar sign, basically dollar or this this symbol you can see, not dollar, this symbol. After that, what we are using over here, first variable is equal to, here we are using percentile s as we use in C. Okay, so in place of this percentile s, this s.str1, this is the string. Okay, this string basically is going to come over here. So this is a format string as we have in C. So in Python also we are having the provision of the format string. So what we can do after this percentile, we can pass or we can give the different variables. Okay, so while we are using here like the percentile s we are using, means this string is we are printing over here. Then second variable percentile d, this is of integer type, so that we are printing over here. And then here s.call means we are calling the function. So while we are creating the object, okay, by using that particular object, we can call the members, different members of the class. Similarly, if we want to access like by using S1, then by using S1 also, I can do the same thing like this. You can see, okay, like here by using S1 also, I can do the same thing. S1.call. So here you can see what is happening over here. Here you can see str1. Basically, it is defined in the class. The value is my second class. Here 10. So what I am doing over here, I have created two objects. Okay. S by using this first object s.str1. I'm calling this means member. Okay. So what is the value? The value is my second class, and the second variable, the value is 10. Okay. And here what I'm doing as dot call. I am class method. Okay. And it is returning true. Similarly, you are seeing over here while I'm creating the second object, the same value I'm getting over here. Why? Because the variables, basically, these are not associated with the object. These are not associated with the object. They are associated with the class. So for all object, these variables are having the same value. They are sharing the same value. Okay. So now the question arises over here, how we can define the variables in the class that can be associated with the object, or the another thing is that how many different type of variables can be there in the class. Okay, like here you can see, however, we have created two objects, but still in both of the objects, what we are having only same value you can see over here. Okay, so these variables, what are their types? Okay, so there are different types of variables available in case of Python also. On different places we can define them. Okay, so if we want to understand them, first we need to understand what are the different variables, what type of variables are these, you know. Okay, and how we can define these variables. So variables in class. So in case of Python, there can be broadly of two types of variables. One is the static variable or class variable, as you have seen over here. Okay, these variables are the class variables. They are
Sir,
defined within the class. Yes, please.
sir, I had that one doubt that in the function call, what have you passed in that function? Self.
Self, ये मैं अभी 2 मिनट दो अभी थोड़ा सा मेरे को, मैं डिस्कस करता हूँ इसको. Okay, what is self? Just understand point by point. Okay, one by one, different things are there. Okay,
Okay,
so
sir.
simply what we have done over here, we have created the class. We have till the time you can understand, this is the way of defining a function. Okay, then after I will tell you what are the different type of functions, how we can define the functions in case of Python within a particular class. Okay, so this is these are two variables. So these type of variables, basically they are called the static variables or the class variables. Why? Because all the objects of the class, they share the common value of these variables. They are associated with the class. They are not associated with the object. They are not associated with the object. They are defined in the class. Here you can see we have created two objects, but still what they are having the same value. Okay, so the static variable or class variables, they are defined within the class. All instances of the class share the same copy of such variables. They can be accessed by object of the class or the class name itself. So what is there? What is the specialty? They can be either they can be accessed by the object name, or they can be directly accessed by the class name. Instead of writing this s dot str1, I can write the second like this also, second dot str1, because these are the static variables or the class variables that you can see. And now the same thing is there still. My second class is there. Okay, so one is the instance variable. Instance variable, basically they are always used with object or instance of the class. What is the meaning? Basically a class, uh, when we are defining a class, like here you can understand, just suppose that we are creating a class like box class. Just try to understand box. Okay, this is the class. Suppose that we have integer or no integer. Suppose that we are having some w is equal to 10, means width. Okay, height is equal to like 5, and depth is equal to something like 4. Okay, so this is the case. Suppose that here what we are doing, we are creating the object like b is equal to box. This is the one object. So what is happening over here? While we are creating this b is equal to box, we are creating a separate memory area where we have this object. But because these variables are defined within the class, they are not the part of this object. If we have something that is called instance variable, suppose that for now, suppose that one variable is there a. Okay, however, this is not instance variable till now, but suppose that instance variable a is there, then what is the specialty in the instance variable? If we are creating one more object like b1 is equal to box, okay, then this instance variable a has one copy over here and another copy over here. Here I can store the 5, here I can store the 6, means different value I can store. While if these variables are the static variable, all the objects, the number of the object that I am creating, all are sharing the same copy, like w is equal to 10, h5 and d5, all are sharing the same copy. They are not having the separate copy with the each and every instance. So now the question arises how we can define the instance variable. Okay, so how we can define the instance variable? So what are the instance variable? Instance variable are the variables which are having a separate copy always with the object or with the instance. They can be defined with in the init method. Okay, so one init method is there in case of Python, after self or within the class with object. Okay, so see it carefully. They are always used with object or instance of the class. So instance variable are those variables which are within the instance, and they can be accessed only with the object of the class. Okay, they can be defined within the init, okay, method after self or within the class with object. All instances of class have their separate copies. Okay, all instances means the number of objects that we are creating, all are having the different separate copies for these variables. So now how we can define these? Just try to understand with the help of this example how we can define. We are having two ways. Either we can define these variable using the init method, or what we can do, we can define these using the object. Because in case of Java, in case of Python, one problem is there that we cannot define variables like integer a, integer b, because there is no data type. Okay, the data type, there is a dynamic definition of the variables while we are defining and passing the value to the variable. Okay, these variable of that particular type. So there is no meaning to define the variables without initialization. Okay, so how we can define the instance variable? Here you can see class box name is equal to, it is a box. So this is a static variable because this is defined like that within the class. Okay, so this is a static variable, and static variable, they can be either accessed by the object or by, how they can be accessed? By the class name itself. So here print box dot name. In this way we can access that variable. So here you can see only one class is here, and this class is containing one thing only this time. At this time, this is containing only one thing. One variable is there, that is name. It is a box, and this is the value of the variable. Okay, so this is the scenario. 1 minute, just give me a minute, please. Till now this is the scenario. This is a box class. Basically this is box, and here this box class only it is containing one thing, name. So while we are creating the object, okay, this is containing only one thing, name. This is a class basically. It is containing only one thing, name, and the value of name, it is a box, and this name is static, or you can say the class variable. Okay, so we can print it. Now we have created one object. So one object is created. The name of this object is B. Okay, so here you can see B dot name. B dot name. While we are doing B dot name, you know this name basically it is defined in the class. It is defined in the class. Okay, so if I am accessing B dot name or printing, okay, and if it is not defined, then this name by default this is called. Okay, otherwise suppose that I am doing something like that, don't be confused over here. Like suppose that I'm doing B dot like B dot A is there. B dot A is equal to like 2 I am defining. Okay, so this A becomes the instance variable. This A becomes the instance variable. Okay, first see this example, and then we'll discuss about that. Print box dot name. What we are doing over here? We are accessing this particular class variable. Then we have created one object of this class. Then after that, B dot name is equal to KP Sharma. Okay, B dot name. So what is happening over here? If we are creating something with the name of object, then what is the meaning? It means we are creating an instance variable. We are creating an instance variable. If we are accessing that variable with the help of the object B dot name, that it will print KP Sharma. If I will print it box dot name, it means I am accessing the static variable or the class variable. Similarly, one more object I have created, B1 is equal to box, then B1 dot name. One more variable I have added with that. This is called B1, and box dot name is equal to name is redefined. Means I am changing this value, but these instance variable are not changed at that time. Okay, so print B dot box dot name, then B is equal to box B dot name. So here just see what will be the output. Here you can see, here it is a box. So print box dot name, I am doing that particular thing. Then this is printing, it is a box. Then B is equal to box, I am creating a new variable B dot name. Okay, so what it is happening, one instance variable with this object is created. This is created. Okay, B dot name is equal to KP Sharma. Okay, and this KP Sharma, here we are printing. Here also you can see this B dot name is not changing this variable. This is not changing because this is a separate thing. Okay, so here the
So, sir,
instance variable
is it creating a new variable name?
yes, that is what I am saying. It is creating a new variable name that is associated with instance. This is a class variable. This is an instance variable.
So we can name it
So this is
anything
the one way of
like
creating the instance variable. Yes, please.
is it like a name variable? It is a string. It is a box. Like you said before, we can create anything, right? Like B dot A is equal to KP Sharma. Then also it can be possible, right?
Yes, this is possible. B dot A is equal to KP Sharma. It means we are creating or we are adding a new variable in this object. Okay, this is the meaning. So one way is
But
that
that is confined to that particular object B only, right? It is not there in the class.
this is for particular object only. This is not for the entire class.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So this is the one way basically how we can create the instance variable. However, this is not the right way to create. This example is for just differentiating basically. If we are something we are creating with the object, it means we are creating a separate or the instance variable. Okay. So how actually we create the instance variable? By this example, you can understand that how we can create. So here you can see there are two ways basically. One is that we can create by using the object, or another by using the init. Here you can see that like class car, type of vehicle. This variable is of class variable, or you can say the static variable. Then one init method is there. One init method is there. Here we have 2 underscore, then init, then 2 underscore, then self. Self basically here pointing to the self means the current object. This is like this in Java. Okay, self means the current object. However, in case of Python, this self is not fixed. Instead of writing self, you can use anything, anything. But while you are writing anything means what is the meaning? In the init, the first name is treated as a self or is treated as a object of that current class. Okay, so here init self is there. So after self, whatever we are defining, they are defined as a instance variable. Whatever we are defining, they are defined as an instance variable. Here def init, then self is there. After self, the variables, whatever variables we are giving, they are as a instance variable. And how we can initialize? Self dot model is equal to model, self dot company is equal to company. It means this particular class till now it is having one static variable or class variable type of vehicle, and it is having 2 instance variable, one is model and company. Okay, and this entire thing is called the constructor. This is called the constructor basically. Okay, so anyone, I think you are having the idea what is the meaning of constructor. Whenever we are creating the object, whenever we create the object, so constructor is a special kind of method that is called implicitly itself. We don't need required to call explicitly that constructor. So in case of Python, the constructor is having the name init always. In case of Python, the constructor basically it is having the name init. Okay, first thing is the object of this class means the current class, and after that there are instance variables. In this way, what we can do, we can in this way self dot model is equal to model, self dot company is equal to company. We can initialize the instance variables with instance. Okay, then here one method is there. This is the method def print. Def, you know, we use for defining the method. Def, then print, then self. Self here also, what is the meaning of self? Self is representing the current object. Here we are not passing any argument to the method. Okay, so one method is there that is called print, and what this method is doing, it is printing the value of the instance variables. Self dot model, self dot company, car dot type of vehicle. Okay, so you can understand this. What is happening over here? Here, first object we have created car. Sorry, Creta. First object we have created this one. So this line, by using this, what we are doing, we are creating the object. Okay, Creta is equal to car. Car is the name of the class. Then here, these, while you are creating the object, basically this creation, what it is doing, it is calling the constructor implicitly. What it is doing, it is calling the constructor implicitly. Okay, and these parameters basically they are passed to the, or these arguments basically they are passed into the parameter that we have defined over here, instance variables. Okay, like this 2018 is passed into this model, this Hyundai is passed into the company. Similarly, while we are creating the separate object, this 2011 is passed into this, and Hyundai into this. Means what is happening over here, this is the case. Just see, here is something, some changes are here. What is happening here? We are defining a class car. Okay, this car, what it is containing, it is containing one variable type of vehicle, that is a static or class variable. After that, what we are doing, we are creating 3 objects, or 3 objects we are creating. So while we are creating the first object Creta, it means we are creating like this. The first object is Creta, and this object, what it is containing, it is containing the instance variable, the separate instance variable. So 3 instance variable, 2 instance variables, sorry, are here. One is the model and another one is the company. Okay, and what we are passing? We are passing 2018 in model, and here Hyundai we are passing. Similarly, while we are creating the separate object, the separate copy of the same structure of this car is created, and a separate copy of this model and company is created. Okay, so here we are passing 2011, and here Hyundai is passing. Okay. Similarly, what we are doing, we are creating a new object that is called Seltos. This is I-10, this is Seltos here also. So this is the object, but all these objects, they are sharing the same type of vehicle. If we want to call from the, like the Creta dot type of vehicle, we want to call that, it means the same thing, same static variable, because the class variable is having only the one copy, while the instance variable, these instance variable, they are having the separate copy with their object. So this is the difference between the class variable and the instance variable. So while we are creating an object, we are creating a separate memory location, and the instance variable are having a separate copy with that particular object. Okay. So this is the meaning. If we are changing something, suppose that we are changing Creta dot model, you know, so we are changing the value of this instance variable only. All others are unchanged. All others will be unchanged. Is this clear to you? Please tell me. This thing is clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So here, what we are doing, basically, we are creating the object, and you know, while we are creating the object, this object is having some instance variable like the model and company, and one function is there that is printing the, or that is performing the operation on the values which are available with the object. So what is happening while we are printing the Creta.print? What is the meaning? Creta.print, this function is called, and with the Creta we are having model means the 2018, and company we are having the Hyundai, and type of vehicle means car.type of vehicle. Here we are accessing this particular variable. This is common for all. So you can see the output. Here you can see the model 2018 Hyundai, company is Hyundai, type of, type of vehicle car, type of vehicle car, type of vehicle car means. So what you are understanding with that means instance variable we are defining, or you can say the instance variable are those variables which are having a different value or separated value with the object, while the static variables is we are using static variables for defining something that is shared by all the objects. Okay.
Sir,
Next, yes, please tell me.
sir, can you once show, like, if I want to change any model, like say in Creta, I want to change it from 2018 to 2020, then what should we do? Can you once show it?
Definitely, yeah. What we can do, we just need to like this Creta, Creta dot, uh, Creta dot, like this is there. What is there? Model. Okay. Here like 2021. Now after that, just see. Just see what is happening. Now model is changed. Okay.
Okay, sir.
It is a very simple concept. What is there? We are creating the object. If we want to access the instance variable of any object, then we can use the dot operator for setting the value, for accessing the value separately. Suppose that here we are printing with the help of this method. If we are not printing like that, then simply what we can do, we can print like that, print dot print, in the print we can give like Creta dot model, comma, Creta dot company. In this way also we can print. There is no problem in that.
But sir, I still
Next.
didn't understand the use of the self dot model, self dot company, and print self.
Self, the use of self is that while we are means calling this function print with this Creta, okay, so this self is pointing to that particular object. Are you understanding? While we are doing like this, here you can see Creta dot print, then in that case this self is pointing to the Creta object. While we are doing I10 dot print, this self is pointing to the I10. Okay, while I'm doing Seltos.print, this self basically it is pointing to the Seltos object. There are three objects. Self means the current object. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Now, this is also, you can see the instance variable like b is equal to box b dot first instance, b1, b2 dot a second instance. So what is the meaning here? Also, by using this also, what we can do, we can add the instance variable to the object. This is the meaning. We can add the here yes, b is equal to box b dot a is equal to first instance, then b1. Okay, not b2 तो है ही नहीं यहाँ पे, b1 dot a. ये तो सेम ही चीज है जैसे हमने पहले डिस्कस किया था. Next, giving same name to class variable and instance variable. What is the meaning? Similarly, you can see over here also, we have given the same name here. Where we have given like in this name is there. So this is the name that we have given to the static variables, and similar we have given to the instance variable. So what will happen? So the by using the another example also, you can understand what is happening. Here you can see class box WHD is there, means we have three instance three static variables or the class variables WHD. Then we have created one object b1 is equal to box. Then in this b1, because we have not created any instance variable, we have not created any instance variable with the name of w, h or d. So what is happening over here? If we are calling like that b1.w, b1.h, b1.d, then it is pointing to the class variable, because the class variable or static variable, they can be either called by the name of the class or instance means the object. Suppose that we have separately, we have assigned or we have created the instance variable like b1w, b1.w, b1.h, b1.d is equal to 10, 10, 10. We have created three instance variable with this instance b1. In that case, if we are calling like b1.w, b1.h, b1.d, then what we are what we are doing, instead of calling this time this class variables, this object basically point to the instance variable. However, the class variables or the static variables, they will be unchanged. There is no impact on that. That you can understand. Here, what we are doing, we are printing 1000, 10 into 10 into 10, and here this is unchanged. This static variable is not making any change using this. Similarly, you can do with the object b2. Okay, that you can verify, even that you can see what is happening. This is the value, means 24. Why 24? Because at this point of time we are not having, means this object b1 don't have w, h and d. But after this line, what it is doing, it is adding some instance variable to b1. Okay, w, h and d, and we are assigning value 10 into 10, means while in the next line we are calling, or we are calling b1.w, b1.h, then what it is doing, it is instead of means pointing to the class variable, it is pointing or it is accessing the instance variable. Okay. Similarly here, if you want to verify it, then you can see still w, h and d means these class variable, because the class variable we can access with the help of the class name also. These are unchanged. Similarly, next object we can create b2, then b2w. With that also, what we can do here, b2w, b2h. So here we have defined only two, w and h, and one d is not there with the b2. D is not there with the b2. So what is happening while we are doing this, b2w, b2h, these are the instance variables, but here because d is not existing in the with the b2, so what it is accessing is, it is accessing the value from the class variable. Okay, is this clear?
Yes, sir.
So here also you can see the instance variable. However, generally this is not the way of defining the classes. Classes are defined using the instance variables. Sometime in some cases we require the class variables, while if there is a requirement that all the objects they need to share something, then we define as a static variable. Otherwise all the classes are having the instance variables. Like here you can see the right way of defining this box is that class box define in itself WHD. You know very well that this is a init, means this is a constructor. This self is pointing to the current object. Okay, And after the self, we are having the instance variable. So self.w is equal to w, self.h. It means this class is having now 3 instance variables. Okay. So in first, we are creating one object. B is equal to box 2, 3, 4. So what is happening while we are creating the object, because this is called the constructor, automatically this is called while we are creating the object. What is happening behind the scene? While we are creating this object, it means a memory location is created. That is the name of the memory location, reference of the memory location is B. And here we have created 3 instance variables WHD, and we are passing 2, 3, 4 values. Similarly, while we are creating the next object, it means we are creating another separate memory location where we are having the separate value or separate location for WHD, and we have separate value like 5, 6, 7. Okay, so that you can do. So this is the standard mechanism of defining a class in case of Python. Okay. Now, adding method to the class. How we can add the methods? Here only we have defined the variables, or we have added the instance variables. So how we can add the methods? We can add the methods like this: define volume self, define volume self. So this is a method that is basically you can say it is an instance, or it is a method of the instance that can be, we can call on the instance. Okay, why? Because this self is pointing to the current instance. So here you can see this is the same thing, means we have created 2 objects, and here b dot volume. What is the meaning? Here this b basically this object is passed into this self. Self means b1 dot volume. While we are calling this method, it means the value which are associated with the object b, we are performing the operation on that. Self dot w means 2, self dot h means 3, and self dot d means 4. Okay. Similarly, if we are talking about the b1 dot volume, means here the self is pointing to the b1. It means self dot w means the b1 dot w means 5, 6, 7. Okay. So this is the way. In this way, what we can do, we can add the method. However, we can add the method that can return the value also like this. Here you can see, instead of printing the volume, simply what you can do, you can return also like this. Here you can see we are returning. So what is happening over here? Because it is returning a value. Okay, then simply we can use it with the print b dot volume and b1 dot volume. So tell me please, have you understood the concept of object oriented programming till now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now there are some functions also due to or using which what we can do, we can access the attributes of the class. One function is there, get attribute object name. What is the meaning? To access the value of the attribute of an object. Suppose that in an object there is an attribute like a, and we want to print the value. Either directly we can print like the name of the object and then a, or we can use that particular method also. Similarly, has attribute, we can know if we want to know that whether a particular object is having some attribute or not. Then if it is having the attribute, like some a attribute is there, if we are applying like has attribute object were like ob1 comma a, if a attribute is there with the object, then it will return true, otherwise false. Sometime it may be happen like here you have seen with the object we are adding some attributes. Okay, here we are adding the attributes. So what for a particular attribute, we can by using this get attribute, we can access the value, or we can get the value of the attribute, or we can check whether this attribute exists or not. Similarly, if we want to set the value of the attribute, that is also possible by using this set attribute method. Then we can even delete also, as we can add the attribute. Simply what we can do, we can delete the attribute from the object by using this function. So here you can understand, like the box class is there. Here we have defined this means instance variable WHD. 3 instance variables are here, and one method is there. Okay, so here b is equal to box 2, 3, 4 p1. So 2 objects we have created, like print get attribute b comma w. In this way also, what it is doing, b means the first object is there, and we want to get the value of w. Okay, so we can print similarly, like has attribute b comma w, whether it is having the attribute or not. And it will, if this b is having the attribute w, so obviously it is having, it means what is the meaning of it? It means it will return true. Set attribute b comma w
Sir?
comma 10. Now after that, yes.
Sir, I
Yes,
was
please.
asking that here W we are passing an integer type. Then why in get attribute or has attribute we are like writing it in as a character?
No. The value is integer, but the name of the attribute is w. This is the name of the attribute. And in case of Python, the string is represented like this. Even after in place of this w, like width can be there. Then also we can write like this. Okay. Do you know that in case of Python, the string either it can be represented in the single quote or double quote. Okay.
Yes, sir. I know that string is
Even
represented in form of single or double quote. What I was
this is the
asking is
name.
that
This is, yes, this is the name of the attribute. Name of the attribute only.
okay, sir.
Similarly here, set attribute b. So b is the name of the object, w is the attribute, and then 10. 10 is what we are passing it to it. It means the value that we are assigning it to that particular attribute. So similarly, here get attribute. Suppose that we have deleted the attribute over here. Here you can see delete attribute b. From b we are deleting w. And then after, if we are getting the value of b, that it will raise an error because b is not existing now. It is deleted from the object. Okay, so you can check here 2, then true, then 10, then none. None. Why it is none? Here b1 dot volume get attribute. None. 1 minute. Okay, so here you can see this 2, basically it is because of this get attribute bw. Okay, then we have has attribute. Okay, this is correct. Then set attribute 10 is there, and then what we are doing after that, we are printing the value of it, and after that what we are doing here, we are deleting w. Okay, delete attribute bw, and then what we are doing over here, get attribute bw. Okay, get attribute bw. So what it is doing, it is raising an error. 1 minute, if we are doing like this, because this b is not available now. 1 minute over here also, what is the problem? One b, yes, this one. Here you can see, because it is not available, that's why it is raising an error. Okay, b1 dot volume. Now you can see the volume is 210. So this is there. Now some attributes are there which are inbuilt. Basically, whatever class you are creating, the class is inherited, or you can say whatever class in Python, like in the Java, whatever class we are defining, this is the subclass of the object class. In the same way, in case of Python, one base class is there, that is object. So there are some predefined attributes which are containing the information of the classes. Okay, so every Python class has some built-in attribute which can be accessed through name of object class with operator. Okay, so some attributes means predefined attributes are there. We can access these attributes and they are having the information related to the class, like the dict is there, dictionary containing the class namespace, means whatever variables are there in the class, this is you can access by the dict. Then doc is there, class documentation string. If you have defined any documentation string within the class, then you can access that string using the doc. The name of the class you can access using this name attribute. Module, if this class is belong to or belong in a particular module, then the module will print that particular module. And basis, base means it will print the base class, the top class of that particular class. So here you can see the output of these different attributes. The 24 is there, the volume and then here hello box is box class. So documentation string is there. This you have seen or you have learned in previous classes how we can define the documentation string. So this is the documentation string that we can access like this. Box.doc. Then name of the class is box. Module is the main module. Okay. Then base class is the object. So whatever classes we are defining here in case of Python, all are the subclasses of the object class. So object is the topmost class in case of the Python. Then the dictionary is there. Dictionary means it is the information, it is containing the information of the class. All information, the names which we have used, the functions which we have used. Okay. So by this you can access the information related to the class. Now the main important thing is that different type of methods within the class. So here till now you have seen only one type of method, that is called the instance method or the okay. So what are the different type of methods? So this method, this particular method, this is an instance method basically. Why it is instance method? Because when we are calling, it is performing the operation on a particular instance or object. While we are calling like b dot volume, it means it is performing the value operations on the instance variables which are associated with the b. Similarly, while we are calling it b1 dot volume, it is performing the operations on the variables which are associated with it. Okay. So what are the different type of methods? There are different type of methods also. One is the instance method. Instance method is that one. This is the instance method basically. Some other methods are there. We can define like the class method and static methods also. So how we can define them? So instance method, first we will see what is the meaning of instance method. Okay, so these methods have first parameter
Hello,
Hello.
sir. Please check your audio.
Hello. Are you
Hello.
listening?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, okay. It was disconnected, huh? So last time where we were actually, on which point?
The types of method.
Okay, types of method. Okay, okay, okay. No problem. So tell me, my screen is visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, okay. So please tell me, are you understanding the concept?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. So in case of Python, basically there are different types of method, like the instance method, class method, and static method. So this simple thing is that instance method means the method which is working on the instance. Instance means which is basically accessing the value or the attributes which are with the instance, means the which is working on the instance variable. Okay, so the methods that we have used till now, like here you have seen this def volume self, you know, so this is basically is an instance variable, instance method. Okay, so how we can add instance method? Simple, how we can define the instance method within the class, like this is the way, means we can write like this def. Yes, please. Any issue?
No, sir. There is no issue.
Okay, 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 okay. It does simply we can define like def keyword, def, then the method name, then self. So in case of instance variable, we use the keyword self. Self is the keyword that is pointing to the current class, then the list of parameter we can use. Okay, so this type of method is the instance method, and generally that method basically is used to work with the instance variable. Either sometime we can initialize the instance variable, or we can access the instance variable, or we can perform certain operations on the instance variable. So here you can see like one class box is there. Instead of defining the instance variables, means by using the constructor, what we can do, we can define the instance variables with the instance method also. Like here you can see def setVal. SetVal is the instance method, then self is there. So this is same as we have defined the constructor. This is the constructor. Okay, so this is the same, but here this is in case of Python, this init, basically it is specified, it is a predefined keyword that is used for the constructor. Means if we are defining something by using the init, it means automatically it is called. While if we are defining like this def setVal, it means we need to access it with the object, we need to call it with the object. Okay, so def setVal self whd. So here this self is pointing to the current object, then self.w means while we are writing object dot means some attribute, it means we are adding that attribute to the object. Okay, so self.w is equal to w, self.h is equal to h. What is the meaning? Whatever value we are passing, we are adding one attribute with the object, and we are setting the value of it. Okay, so by using this setVal, what we are doing, we are performing the job of the constructor. Okay, similarly, one more method is there, instance methods, def volume self return. Here what it is returning, it is returning the volume. Okay, means it is performing certain operation on the instance variables. So here you can see one object we have created, b is equal to box, then b dot setVal. B dot setVal means this method we have called. Here the current object is b, and 2, 3, 4 they are passed to whd. Okay, similarly over here it means what it is doing, while we are calling this b dot setVal, means we have created one object, and here we are adding some instance variables to this particular object using this setVal method, and we are passing the value to that. Okay, so this is we are doing separately. Before that, the same thing we are doing with the help of the constructor, but here we are doing with this method. So this is an instance method. Basically, it is working with the instance variable. Okay. So B1 is equal to box, then B1 dot set val. In the same case, what we can do, we can create the another means the object, and we can pass the value. Then print the volume of box is B1 dot volume, B1 dot volume. In this way, what you can do, you can define a instance method. Okay. So the another method is the class method. Class method, sometime you have seen some variables we have defined which are of like the static methods or the class, static variables or the class variables. So to work with the class variables or the static variables, we have class methods. So what is the specialty with the class methods? Class method, basically they are defined or they are followed by a particular format string that is called underscore class method. Like underscore class method is here. After that, whatever method we are defining, that method is called the class method. And there is a particular way of defining that method, how we can define, like def vol then CLS. Here the CLS is representing to the class. The CLS is representing to the class, means whatever we are accessing with the CLS, like CLS.w, it means we are accessing the class variable or static variable. Okay, we are pointing to the class variable or static variable. So def vol CLS, print the volume of box dot name. By using this, we can access this particular class variable. Then CLS.w, then CLS.h, CLS.d. Here another method we have, class method. And by using this class method, what we are doing here, CLS, you are seeing the CLS, basically what it is doing, it is representing the class. So CLS.w means we are adding class variable. We are adding one class variable and we are setting value, class variable then setting value. Okay. So what is the difference between the class variable and instance variable? Class variables are having only one copy, which is shared by all objects. We don't have different copy. While in case of the instance variable, we are having the separate copy with the object. Okay. So box dot vol 1, suppose that first what we are doing, box dot vol 1. Okay. 3, 4, 5. So here the class methods, one more thing is there, the class methods we can access with the name of the class also. So box dot vol 1, 3, 4, 5. What is the meaning? We are calling this particular method vol1 using the class box, and what it is doing, it is adding three attributes, three class attributes basically, or class variable you can say, WHD, and the value of these variables is 3, 4, 5. Okay. Then when we are calling this box dot vol, what is the meaning? We are calling this particular method, and this is basically this is multiplying these the value of these variables. Okay, class variables. Then again here you can see b is equal to box. Here we have created one object. Here we have created another object. So two objects we have created. One is b and another one is b1. Then b dot vol1, we have called the vol1 with the b. So here also what we are doing, however, we have created the object, but by using this class method, we are not creating instance variable. We are not adding instance variable, we are adding only the class variables. So class variable is already existing, means the WHD is there. Okay. So what we are doing, b dot vol1 789. So what we are doing, we are replacing the value because all the objects are sharing the same copy. So here CLS.w, which is containing the value 3, now it is overwritten by the 7, same 8, 9. Okay, in the same way. Similarly, while we are writing like this b1.vol1, it means we are now overwriting this 7, 8, 9 with 10, 10, 10. And while we are calling b.vol means, however, we are calling this method with the object b. But still, because the value which we have set with the b, it is not available now. It is overwritten by this 10, 10, 10. So you will get the 1000. Similarly, box.vol, you will get the 1000. Similarly, b1.vol, you get the 1000. Okay. So is this clear to you? Please tell me.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now the same, another thing is there that is called static method. Here what we are doing, we are working with the class variables or static variables. Sometime it is the case that we don't either require the instance variable or class variable. We want to work with the local variables of the method. In that case, we don't require even to create the objects. You can have the example like in case of suppose that there is a math class, okay, and you want to access the different functions of math related function, like power function is there. Simply what you do, you just pass like power one function is there, suppose that, or some function is there like power or sqrt is there. Simply what you do, you pass two values like x and y, and you need to have like x raised to the power y. Okay, so there is no required to create the object, or there is no required to create the different variables, because the function basically it is having its own variable and its own processor. Okay, so these kind of functions, when we require to add, generally these kind of functions are the static methods. Okay, static methods. So how we can add these static methods in the class? Because are you understanding what is the meaning basically of static methods? Why they are? Because they don't have anything, or they they don't have any sense to perform the operation on the instance variables. Okay, so class calc name calc is there. Suppose that this is the static variable, and then static method is there. Static method also they are called with the name of the class, because we don't require to create the object. There is no need of creating the object. Okay, so like this method is there, def power 1 x comma y, calc dot name is equal to new calc, and then return x double star y, means x raised to the power y. Okay, simply print calc dot power 1 2 comma 3. So here what we are doing, we are passing this 2 3 to the method simply, and this is returning 2 raised to the power 3. So here we don't need to create the variables or the instance variables or the class variables. Okay, in that case we generally require the static methods. So like some methods, like in case of there is one class that is called math, you know, so most of the methods are defined like that. Now calling methods from another methods. Okay, so how we can call methods in case of the Python from the another methods? Like one class is there, class call, and one static variable or class variable is there, name my class. Here we have created the instance variables. So 3 instance variables we have created. This is the constructor in it, self a b c. Okay, self dot a. Here we have set the value of a, then print a is set. Then what we have done, we have created some more instance methods basically. These are the instance methods. Okay, and in the second instance method we have set the value of b and c, b, and again in this we have called the another method, and here we have called the means the set the value of c. So what actually I want to try to show you how we can call, means what, simply the meaning is that we can call, this is a constructor but it is behaving or it is working like a instance method. Okay, so simply from an instance method we can call the another instance method. Here you can see, from here we are calling 2 instance methods, set val a b c and set self dot clm. Here this CLM, what is the CLM? CLM, here we have defined a class method. So directly from the instance method we can call the class method also. For calling the class method we are having 2 ways. Either we can call with the help of the object like self. Self is pointing to the current object, or simply we can write like this one, call dot clm. This is also okay. Okay, so in any way we can call like self dot clm, but this we cannot call like that. This call dot set val we cannot do like that. Why? Because this set val basically it is an instance method. This can be called only with the help of the instance. So self is pointing to the current instance. Okay, so what is happening while we are running this particular program? Here you can see c is equal to call 2 3 4. Okay, so this is calling to here we are creating the object, c is equal to call. So you know, when we are creating the object, basically this is moving the control to the constructor. This is the constructor. Okay, here we are passing the value to a b c, self dot a. So here a we have added with the object and we are passing the value, like this 2 is added over here. Now a is set. Then again by using the same object self, what we are doing, we have called this set val. Then in this set val we have set the value of b, and then again what we have done, we have called this particular method set val 1 2, and here we have set the value of c. So in this way, this call basically it does implicitly it is calling the another method, and it is setting the the value instance and a value, or it is adding the instance variable with object C and setting the value of the instance variables. Okay, and here what we are doing, we are calling the CLM. So in this way, what we can do, we can call the methods from the different methods. Okay, I think it is clear to you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, please. Next is the public and private method in a class. Similarly, in another programming languages, like we can define the private and public. In the same way, in case of Python also, we can define the private. However, there is no keyword like the private. Okay, this can be defined using the underscore, double underscore. Like here you can see class box is there. So this is a constructor basically. Okay, and here we have defined one more method, that is volume. But this volume method, it is a private method, because here we have used the double underscore. If we are using the double underscore, it means only within the class. It is restricted because it is a private. Private means within the class only it is visible. Okay, within the class only. So it means this method can be called within the class only. Within the class only. Def and a print wall self, this is another method, and here self dot wall. So this portion is within the class. Here print wall, this is within the class. So here we can access this volume, but here you can see we have created an object B is equal to box, and this is outside of the class, because class is the body of the class is this one, and from like this def to here, this is the body of the class, and here outside of the class we have created the object B box, and here what we are doing, here we are printing this B dot print wall. Sorry, print wall is correct, no problem, but this we cannot do, this one. This one we cannot do, B dot volume, because volume is private. So here you can see, if we are making it comment and then we are running, then there is no problem. The volume is 24. Yes, it is correct. And inside public method, and then here you can see if we are trying to call this volume outside of the class. Okay, then you can see there is a problem. This is the error box object has no attribute volume. Okay, so in this way what we can do, we can create the, or we can make a particular method as private. Now constructors in Python. So constructor, have you seen, this is the constructor basically, the init, double underscore, then init, then double underscore. And what is the meaning? This is a constructor basically. So in this way we can define the constructor, and constructor is having the capability that it is automatically called. Implicitly it is called whenever an object we create the for the class, it is called, and it is used to initialize the instance variables. So here you have seen like first is equal to student, and we have created one constructor, and here you can see the instance variables are there, name, age, roll number, and first like we have created the object first is equal to student, KP, second AP. Okay, so what is happening here, we are creating the object and this constructor is called implicitly. Okay, and this constructor also calling one student.count. What is that? This is basically the static variable or the class variable that we can also access with the help of the class name, like the student.count, and it is having only one copy. It is not having the copy with the constructor or the object. Then one more method is there, that is the instance method, display info self, and by using that what we can do, we can display the information. Okay, one more important thing with the constructor is that, however, without the parameter also we can define the constructor. This constructor is with parameter, multiple parameters we have called. If we don't want to define any parameter with the constructor, then simply self we need to write, and here we can assign the value. What is the difference here? If we are creating the number of objects, these objects basically they are having the same value in the instance variables. Okay, so if ultimately we don't have any constructor in the class, then Python environment basically add a default constructor. It provides a default constructor. Like here you can see here the roll number and name is there. These are the class variables, and one method is there. This is an instance variable. So here we are creating an object and st.display. So what is the meaning? Basically here a default constructor is created by the created by the Python environment. One more important thing is that if we have more than one constructor in a single class, suppose that this is the case. Here you can see we have two constructor. One is this default constructor, default, or you can see the constructor without any parameter. Okay, and here we have constructor which is having some parameter. In that case, because in case of Python, method overloading is not allowed. However, in the other programming or object-oriented programming language, it is allowed, but in case of Java, it is not allowed. So what is happening over here? There is no error, but only the last version of the constructor will be visible. Okay, only the last version of the constructor will be visible. What is the meaning? If we try to access this constructor, then this will not work. It will raise an error. So automatically, if we are defining the multiple constructor, then the last version of the constructor will be available for us. Here, like you can understand with the help of this example, first is equal to student KP 35.1. This is okay because in this case we are accessing, or we are basically using this particular constructor. Similarly, in the second also this is okay. But if we want to do like this, third is equal to student. However, for this we are having one more constructor that is matching with this one, but because it is not available, it is overwritten by this constructor. So this is an error. So this is not allowed in case of Python. However, in another programming language like the Java, this thing is allowed, but in case of Python, it is not allowed. Okay. So like this, if you want to do, then definitely it will show an error that you can see like here. In it takes one positional argument, but 4 were given. Okay. So it is not allowed. So if we like 1 minute, this is this one. This one is the case, not that one. Here you can see. Yes. Okay. Here, what is the case? 3 parameter, because last one is visible only. So here we are passing 3 parameters. But in this case, third is equal to student, we are not passing any parameter. So what it will give the error? Third is equal to student. It is not allowed, as only last constructor is considered as valid. So it is not allowed. Okay. So we need to make it as now you can see 1 minute. This one, yes, this is working fine now. Similarly, over here, suppose that this is the case. Here we have defined parameterized constructor first. Then after we have defined the constructor without any parameter. Then in that case, if we are doing this, first is equal to student KP, then this is not allowed. Basically, this is not allowed. Here you can see this line will give an error. Okay, this you can see student KP. And it is not allowed, as only last constructor is considered valid. So in that case, we need to comment these lines, and only the last one, like this third one, is valid. So that you can see. So are you understanding this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So next thing is the inheritance in Python. So this is the last topic, I think, from the means from object-oriented programming. Inheritance, you know very well what is the meaning of inheritance. Inheritance means if some object is having certain properties, then these properties can be acquired by the other object if they required so. Okay. What is the meaning? Sometime in the programming, suppose that a person is there. Suppose that a person is there. You know, the person is having, all the persons are having the name, their address, the mobile number can be there. Okay. And the persons can be of different type, like the student is a person, teacher is a person. So some attributes are there which are qualifying to that particular person to be a teacher, to a student. Okay. So there are some properties which are common, and some properties are there which are different. So there are 2 ways of defining the persons. One way is that we can define the student. We can have the name of the student, then the roll number of the student. We can have the phone, mobile number, address, and then the like the class of the student. Similarly, we can define like the teacher's name is there, address is there, mobile number is there, the salary is there, post is there. So here you can see, if we are defining like in this way, means we need to repeat the things. Repeat the things means we are defining the name, address, mobile number to the student, and as well as to the teacher also. So in case of Python or the another object-oriented programming language, by using the inheritance, what we can do, we can enhance, or we can use the, means reuse the code basically. We can enhance the reusability. Reusability means if we have defined something and if some object is required these properties, then directly we can inherit without redefining them. Okay, so this is the inheritance. So inheritance means this is the same concept as you have seen in the another programming languages. So method overriding we can implement by using this. Obviously, this is a very strong concept, method overriding. Without changing the binding, we can change the behavior of the method, and code reusability is there. So terms used in inheritance is the class you know very well, then subclass, or the child class. Child class is the derived class basically, which is inheriting the property from the another class. Then the super class and parent class is there. Super class means from which it is inheriting the property. Are you listening to me, please?
Yes, sir.
My voice, yes, correct.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so reusability means when we are acquiring the properties, means the same properties when we are accessing from the other class. This is called the reusability. So types of inheritance in case of the Python: single inheritance, multiple inheritance, multi-level inheritance. So Python basically almost all type of inheritance is supported by the Python. There is no problem in case of Python. Okay, so single inheritance means one class is there, super class is there, and one subclass is there. Here the class B basically it is inheriting the property from the class A. Okay, means class A is having certain properties like and class B is having property of which is specific to class B, as well as the properties which are there in the class A. Same, this is called the multi-level. Multi-level means like the class A is having certain properties and which is inherited by the class B. So the class B is containing the properties which are there in the class A and in the class B. Same, the class C is inheriting property from the class B. So the class B is now having the properties which are there in the A and B as well. So class C is containing all the properties which are there in the B and the properties which are there in the C. Okay. Hierarchical inheritance means one class we can inherit into the more than one classes. Okay. Like class A is there, the same class we are inheriting in the B, and the same class we are inheriting in the class C. Multiple is there. So in Python, what we can do, we can even define the multiple inheritance also, means class, more than one classes we can inherit into a particular class. This is called the multiple inheritance. And similarly, any combination of these we can apply in case of the Python. This is called the hybrid. So single inheritance, so how we can means implement the single inheritance. Simple, this is the syntax. One class is there, then this is the name of the class, which basically inheriting the property, it is called the derived class. So this is the name of the derived class. So what is the syntax of defining a derived class? Means for which is inheriting the property, basically it is a derived class. So how we can write class, the name of the derived class, and then in the bracket base class. Base class means the super class from which it is inheriting the property. Okay, and then here the definition of the class, like here you can see class animal is there. One instance method is there, speak, self, print animal is speaking. Okay, so one class animal is there, one more class is there, that is called dog. Okay, and here in the bracket what we are doing, we are inheriting the property from the animal. It means this dog class is containing two things. One method in the class animal, only one method is there, that is speak. Okay, but in this dog, because it is inheriting the property from the animal also, one method is of dog class is there, bark, and one more method is there, that is speak. Means this class is containing two methods. One is the bark and another one is the speak. So how you can verify that you can verify if suppose that we are creating the object for class dog. Here you can see D is equal to dog. So by using this object, you can either call the bark and speak. Why? Because both the methods now belong to the class dog. Okay, so this is called the single level inheritance basically. And multiple inheritance also you can use in the same way. How we can define the multiple inheritance. Multiple inheritance means class derived class is there, and here we can have the number of classes separated by the comma. Like here, class calculation 1 is here. This is defined one method, summation. Class calculation 2 is here. This is defined one more method. And one class derived is there, that is derived calculation 1 and calculation 2. And here one more method is there, that is called divide. So what is the meaning? This derived class basically is having the method multiplication as well as this summation. So by creating this, the object of this derived class, d is equal to derived, we can call all these three methods. Okay. Similarly, the multi-level inheritance, this is also same, like the class animal is here. You can see here what we are doing. Here we are inheriting the animal. Similarly, class, one more class is there. This is inheriting the dog. So what is here? The dog is inheriting the animal, and this dog child is it is inheriting the dog. Okay. So this last dog child class, basically it is containing this method also and this one also. Okay. So by creating the object, we can call all these three methods. Okay. So this is the another thing. Don't go on that. There are two methods which are useful in these cases. Basically, one is subclass. Is subclass. So what is that method? Sometime if we required to know whether the given class is the subclass of the particular class or not, then this method return true, otherwise false. It is simple. Is subclass, like the sub super. So is this relationship is exist. If it is existing, then this function is returned true, otherwise not. Similarly, is instance object class. We create the object, and if we want to know whether this object belong to that particular class or not, if it is belong to that particular class, then this method return true, otherwise false. Like here you can see calculation, this you can see. So here is subclass derived comma calculation 2. So calculation, this derived, basically this derived is the subclass of, or the derived class of the calculation 2. So it returns true. Is subclass calculation 1 and calculation 2, it returns false, because there is no relationship between the calculation 1 and calculation 2. And d comma derived. So here you can see d is the object of derived class, so it will return true. So that you can see. Okay. One more thing is there, that is called method overriding. So in case of inheritance, that can be the situation while we are using the inheritance, the superclass and the subclass can have the same name of the method. Okay, same name of the method. So in that case, the method that is defined in the superclass, okay, and the same method, if it is defined in the subclass, then the method of subclass, basically it overrides the method that is defined in the superclass. So this concept is called the method overriding. Okay, so here you can see, or you can understand with the help of example, like class bank is there, then get here ROI, return of rate of interest, you can say, method is there. So it is returning 10. Similarly, suppose that one more class is there, that is SBI, and it is inheriting the bank, and it is also having the get rate of interest like self, and it is returning 7. Similarly, the class ICICI is there. So what is happening over here? While we are creating the B1 is equal to bank, P2 is equal to, we have created the object. So while we are calling B3 dot, however, in by the rule of inheritance, you can see this ICICI is having basically the three versions of get ROI. Three versions of get ROI. One version is that, and another one version is this one. But if we are using B3 is equal to B3 object, if we are using, then the version which is there with the B3, okay, or this basically it will called only, means what is the meaning? This method, this override all other methods. Okay, so this is the method overriding. So this is the last concept from this object-oriented programming, data abstraction or hiding in Python. As we have seen, in case of Python, we can define the public method. Public method means outside of the class, we cannot access that method. Similarly, here we can define the private private variable also, variable which are local to the class. By using the same concept, means we can use the double And we can underscore, double underscore we can use, like double underscore count is equal to 0. And it means this we cannot access outside of the class. And here you can see here def init is there. So employee.count, it is okay. Employee.count is equal to employee.count plus 1. This is okay over here because it is inside the class, we can access. But outside of the class we cannot access. Suppose that here also we can access, but here we cannot access. Like this, you can see employee object has no attribute count. So here there is no visibility of this. However, inside the class we can access. So what is the meaning here? This is the way of hiding the data within the class. If some data we want to restrict that it will be available only in the class, then we can do like that. Okay. So for today's, I think the time is over now. So here we have seen all the important things which are related to the object-oriented programming in Python. Tomorrow we will see the remaining things like the how we can handle the exceptions, or how we can handle the file in the file, or how we can create the package, or we can use the packages. So these concepts we will see tomorrow. Okay. If you are having any query, then you can ask, please. Yes, please.
Sir, kindly share this document in the chat box.
No, sir.
Yes.
Thank you so much for your wonderful lecture, and thanks to all the participants. And you all, please, I am requesting you all join the next session tomorrow at the same time. Thanks to all.
अच्छा, आप लोगों को समझ आया कि नहीं आया ये लेक्चर? That is very important if you are understanding.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Your
Okay.
lecture was very wonderful.
Sir,
Okay, then we will see.
document in the chat box.
Definitely the document I will share. There is no problem with that. Okay. This is not the case that I will not share the thing. That will you definitely will get the document, but important thing is that you need to understand the concepts. Okay. Tomorrow we'll see the exception handling, file handling, and some other concepts. Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay,
all of
sir.
you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.